Let's talk about why being alone is good. Hey guys, what is up? I'm Selena and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. Today we're going to be talking about why being alone is good because oftentimes people tell you that being alone is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. But let's be honest, being alone might be a chill place and it just feels good sometimes in our lives to just be alone because there is nothing wrong with being alone. And being alone and being lonely might sometimes be a thing where you can get confused. Being alone, means just, I don't know, feeling good with yourself, being alone a couple of seconds and minutes. And feeling lonely is just something where you feel like you need to talk to someone, but you just don't want to admit it. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about why it's actually good to be alone. And, well, I can only speak for myself, especially because I'm a creative person. I don't know if it has something to do with that as well. I'm sure it does have, but I don't know if it's the same with people who are not so creative or don't really like to be creative. Well, I do think that being alone just obviously gives you time to reconnect with yourself and to get to know yourself better. I think it's just so important, and being alone just gets easily overlooked sometimes because, it is just such a status quo that we need to have friends. The more friends, the better. And of course, it is amazing to have friends. It is important to have friends because you grow with them. Having friends is just a human thing. We cannot live without people around us. It is just normal. But being alone doesn't mean that it's bad just because you don't have anyone else around you. So I do think being alone at some point can even become addicting, and I think that is just it can become a dangerous place. If you learn to be happy with yourself, you come to a point where you really don't think about needing to have someone else in your life as well, which is a crazy phenomenon because I do think we human beings, we obviously need to have people around us, but being happy with yourself is also something that is just crazy amazing at some point because you won't get bored, you are happy with yourself, and you don't need to have people around you to tell you how to be happy, or you don't need to have anyone around you in order to be happy, which is also something very important because for me, I'm a creative person, and I do think that being alone gives me so many ideas and just basically I can reconnect with myself and I can feel inspired. I do feel inspired when I'm outside as well, but I do need some quiet time with myself to just also get to know myself better, which sounds weird, but I do think that spending time with yourself is so important just in order to truly find who you are again after you have maybe been losing yourself in between the crowds. So I think it's important to also be alone because it is not something that is bad. I would even say it's something that is good because you can grow in that matter and in that space. You can ask yourself questions such as where am I? Where do I want to be in the next few years? That doesn't mean that you have to sit in front of a mirror and talk to yourself. No, that's not what I mean. But I do think that being alone and talking to yourself, mentally asking yourself questions, what do I want to do? Who am I? What makes me feel good? Also helps you to maybe go out into the world and find new friends. Maybe you have found a new interest about yourself that you would have never thought about that you actually have. And now you can also reach out to new people, make new friends, make new connections, and learn so much more and so many new things. Such as, let's say, I don't know, you have never liked golfing before. And now suddenly you have come to the conclusion after spending some time with yourself, well, there has been a time in my life where I was in fourth grade and I actually really loved golf, but at some point in my life it just got lost. Hold on a second. Quickly changed my room, but I was talking about golfing. Yeah, you may have actually loved to play golf when you were a kid, but you just completely forgot about it because you've grown up, you've met new people, you have been through so many different environments, and now after spending some time alone with yourself, you just probably get reminded of the things that you have completely forgotten about. So that's why I think reconnecting with yourself is so important. Being alone is not such a bad thing because you can obviously take out a couple of new things from yourself, things that you have lost or completely forgotten about after such a long time. And don't let people tell you that being alone is bad. There are so many good things about being alone. You can grow, you learn new stuff, you can pick up a new hobby, and resulting from being alone, you can go out into the world and maybe also grow with people around you. Because you have probably forgotten about loving to play golf. Now you go out into the world and you find new friends who play golf, and you might find people that are just amazing. You make new friends, best friends maybe for the rest of your life. You have new connections, and so there was nothing wrong about being alone. As long as you're not being alone and overthinking things and becoming sad and becoming depressed, because that is obviously not the goal we're trying to go for. So I do think that being alone definitely comes with good things but also bad things. So I would always keep an eye out on the positive and try to absolutely forget about the negative. You can also analyze the negative and try to find results that are positive, trying to take positive notes out of the negative, and try to talk to yourself how to basically, don't make the same mistakes that you did before. And there are just so many examples of talking about important things, thinking about important things with yourself, and just having sort of a self conversation with who you are, where you're trying to be, without asking for people's opinions. Because obviously sometimes we think that people's opinions and thoughts of us define us, but that is definitely not the case, because there's so many people, everyone has a different opinion and a different viewpoint of you and who you are. So I definitely wouldn't define myself just because someone thinks that I am this way or that way. And this is why being alone can sometimes be so helpful in also just deciding things, deciding what's right and what's wrong, and also just coming to a conclusion about things that you have probably never really, knew about before, where you have been like, whoa, I really don't know what right or wrong is at this point. I have asked so many people, but everyone is giving me a different answer. Well, it is time to be alone and to basically start thinking, what would I do and how do I feel about this matter? Because things are in your hands. You are a person, most of the time you are spending time with yourself. That is why it is just so important to listen to yourself and to your own voice. And so being alone is absolutely something that you should absolutely be not ashamed of. It is something that you should be confident with, because being confident in your own skin is so important. And so being alone should absolutely not be a bad thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you are confident with yourself being alone, if you like being alone, and if you are alone, what you are doing. Do you like being creative when you are alone? There are just so many things. Comment down below what you think. And well, I will see you in a new video every Saturday from now on, because it is a Let's Talk About episode that is coming out every Saturday, and I just love to do that series. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, again, let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure to talk about it in my next video. Alright, I see you guys in my new video next week. Bye!